Hey there, Alex here. If you're in the market looking for a compact smartphone that is still decent today, you don't really have much options to choose from. One of them would be the Xperia Z5 Compact from late 2015. But is it still worth getting one today? Let's find out. While the design of the Xperia series hasn't really changed all that much throughout the years, I have to say they do age really well. Even today, the Z5 Compact still looks really good. While the frame might not be metal, it still feels really solid, and the glass back makes it feel like a more premium phone. I also really like the frosted glass finishing. It feels smooth to the touch and doesn't leave any fingerprints or smudges. To me, it's pretty much the ultimate expression of Sony's omnibalance design. Furthermore, the phone is still water and dust resistant without the need to deal with flimsy flaps covering the charging port. The Z5 Compact was also one of the first Sony phones to include a fingerprint sensor. It's a really unique implementation at the side of the phone, and it works surprisingly well. If you set it up properly, you can unlock the phone easily no matter whether the phone is in your hand or on a desk. Oh, and by the way, despite being such a small phone, Sony still found a way to put in stereo speakers. The volume might be a bit on the softer side, but it's still nice to have that stereo effect. The 720p 4.6-inch LCD display at the front might not sound like much today, but it still looks decent enough for everyday use. The colors are a little cool for my liking, but that can be easily adjusted. That lower resolution also means better battery life as well as lesser pixels for the processor to push around. Which brings me to the Snapdragon 810 chipset on the phone, which is a bit of a double-edged sword. I love that despite being a compact phone, it's still packing a high-end chipset with the only minor compromise being a bit less RAM. So the performance of the phone is still really good, but the thermal performance of the processor leaves much to be desired. When I'm playing a game, using the camera, or just browsing the web for a short while, the phone warms up more easily than I would have liked. For heavier users, it probably wouldn't be uncommon to feel the phone getting really warm. Unfortunately, this is just how it is with this chipset. After over a year of use, the 2700 mAh battery is no longer as lasting as it used to be, but it can still last me a day of normal use. The lower resolution screen and better battery management in Android Nougat probably helped. It does support fast charging, but the fast charger is not included in the box. Android Nougat also brought one of my favorite features, which is fast app switching, making it really quick and easy to jump between apps. Split screen mode is here too, but frankly it's not that useful on a screen this small. Sony's interface is actually very close to stock Android, with just minor tweaks and enhancements here and there. Double tap to wake and double tap to sleep is always a nice feature to have. The small apps feature actually can be useful occasionally too, and I'm sure some folks will enjoy the audio features. There are quite a bit of Sony apps on the phone too, along with some third-party ones. But what I really like about Sony's interface is that most of them can be uninstalled or disabled if you prefer a more stock Android-like experience. One of the headlining features of the Z5 Compact is its 23-megapixel camera. The camera is able to capture good-looking shots, but it does require a bit of effort and playing around with the settings to do so. It also has a tendency to oversaturate the shot, which I guess some people will like. As long as there are still some light, the camera can still capture some pretty decent shots. But once it becomes too dim, the camera struggles at getting good details and the colors are just way off. The 5-megapixel camera is actually not half bad, certainly better than I was expecting it to be. It captures pretty good looking 4K footage too, even though the electronic stabilization doesn't look as good in 4K. Just one thing though, instead of being part of the video mode, why is 4K a separate mode? And who really uses all these AR effects? In the end, I can't really say I enjoyed using the Z5 Compact's camera. The camera app is just a little bit too finicky for my liking, even though it has the potential. For a smartphone, I would prefer a camera that does all the work for me, making it as easy as possible to capture great looking shots. Another complaint I have is with Sony's Album app. Just look at how long it takes to render this 23-megapixel photo when I zoom in. Then, let's try Google Photos. See the difference? It's crazy. Overall, the Z5 Compact is still a pretty remarkable phone. For such a tiny phone, it packs in a ton of features that will still put a lot of newer phones to shame. It does have a few compromises and a few things I'm not a huge fan of, but the overall user experience is still really good. I'm really surprised at how snappy it still is. Its tendency to warm up easily might annoy some folks, but for normal smartphone usage, I don't think it's a big deal. So even after a year and a half, I do think that the Z5 Compact is still a decent option for folks who are looking for a good compact smartphone. It's not like there are a lot of other options around anyway. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and see you guys on the next one.